A quick point I wanted to get into because I didn't get into it in this video is that Calvin Ridley actually wanted to be a Philadelphia Eagle. He wanted to reunite with Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. I didn't touch on it in this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, this is Al Kabir, the analyst, and today I will be talking, is Jalen Hurts the reason free agents don't want to come to Philadelphia? And also, I will talk Kenny Pickett a bit. This is Al Kabir, the analyst. Let's talk Jalen Hurts, man. I've been seeing a lot of stuff that Jalen Hurts, the offensive scheme, is the reason why free agents are not coming to Philadelphia. I could debunk that a little bit because I don't believe that's the case. I think there's other things. Let's get into Allen Robinson. We all wanted Allen Robinson here. Big body, veteran guy. Jump ball, could have easily been probably number one. Devontae Smith number two. Could have moved Quest to the slot number 3. Let's be honest about the NFC. If you're not the Rams, if you're not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I can't really even say Green Bay. You're going for the Super Bowl. If you're not those two teams, because those teams are ready. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, there's still other things besides Jalen Hurts. Got the defense that's a bit shaky. Second year head coach. Really don't know what you're going to get out of him. And the skill positions are a bit shaky. Not going to lie. Allen Robinson is up there in age. I think at this point, he just won a ring. So him going to the Rams, I don't think it has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. I think it's the Rams are ready. They got the players, got the pieces. I can fit in that scheme. Cool. Second, let's get into Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk was one of those guys. We just got outbidded. You know, I believe he wanted to come to Philadelphia, but the Jaguars just offered more money. He just couldn't turn down. He just couldn't. Jaguars had a lot of cap space, and they've been overpaying players. Howie Roseman put in some money, and Howie Roseman's not going to overpay for a guy. He's just not going to do it, especially with all the talent that's in the draft. Let's look at Christian Kirk numbers and see was he worth overpaying. So last year was his best year. Had 77 catches, 982 yards and 5 touchdowns. The year before that, he has 621 yards and 6 touchdowns, 48 catches. And the Jaguars paid him a 4-year deal, $72 million. The max value could be up to $84 million, including incentives. Howie Roseman was just not going to pay that for a guy that was in a consistent 1,000-yard wide receiver. He's just not going to do it. So, do that have anything to do with Jalen Hurts? No, he just got outbidded. I mean, is Christian Kirk worth that money? I don't believe so. To come in to be a number 2 or number 3, and then the plus, I'm assuming in the future we're going to pay Devontae Smith, and I'm assuming that we want Devontae Smith to be that number 1. So that's Christian Kirk, and that's Allen Robinson. Now let's get into DJ Chark. With DJ Chark, this one is a bit tricky because he did go to the Lions, and they did give him a 1-year deal for $14 million. But I think that was more of, I want to be the number 1 guy. He come to the Philadelphia Eagles, he's the number 2 guy. He want to show he's that number 1 guy, and he can lead a team. And the Lions was willing to pay a 1-year deal for $14 million. I honestly don't think Jared Goff is better than Jalen Hurts. Call it what you want. I don't think Jared Goff that scheme or anything. And also, I just think Howie Roseman was not willing to go over a certain amount, especially when you want to pay Hassan Reddick. So, do that have to do anything with Jalen Hurts? I don't think so. I really don't. I think that's just the guy who wanted to be the number one guy, and he came to Philadelphia. He's not going to be the number one guy. Just is what it is. But salute to DJ Chark, by the way. Robert Woods. Let me touch on him. He's last, but definitely not least. What Robert Woods is that the Rams did it smart. You don't trade him to a team in the NFC. That would be crazy. That would be crazy for him to come back and bite you. You trade him to the AFC. He wanted to go to the Tennessee Titans. We put in a trade offer. They said no because they still vetted a team that he wanted to go to because that's out of the kindness of their heart. Like, okay, we're not going to trade you to the NFC. We'll send you to the AFC. He said Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans fit him because he's a good run blocker, which would have fit the Eagles. He's a good route runner, and he's very good off the play action. That's what Tennessee Titans do. Tennessee Titans is a run-heavy team just like us. Now, also the Tennessee Titans, if you look at the AFC, they in one of the easiest divisions, AFC South. Got the Jaguars, got the Colts, you got the Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans. I mean, there's really no real competition. Did I say the Houston Texans twice? Houston Texans, Tennessee Titans, Colts, and the Jaguars. So that division is pretty light. You sent him there, and that team was a number one seeded team. But that would not affect the Rams at all. I just think that was a guy that wanted to be traded to the Tennessee Titans. And a Rams team that was smart to send him to the AFC. That was very smart. Now, let's touch on the Kenny Pickett thing, right? Salute to Philly Mike. I was watching his video. You know, it's this big thing going out that we took Kenny Pickett to dinner. Brian Johnson, the quarterback coach. One thing I can say is that when we draft Carson Wentz, and I got this from Philly Mike, and I did my research on it. Howie Roseman was at the dinner when we took Carson Wentz out to dinner. Jeffrey Lurie, Doug Peterson, offensive coordinator. Whereas this one, it was just Brian Johnson. He had a very good pro day. Why not take him out? Cool. And I just think it's Howie Roseman doing his due diligence. Howie Roseman is always going to go after who he believes will be the best fit. Howie Roseman, salute to Lord Bronson saying this. Howie Roseman is the face of the franchise. It is what it is. But I think in this particular case, I think he was just doing his due diligence. I honestly think Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis, they probably go top 10 anyway. And I think drafting those guys will be a huge mistake because this draft is so loaded with like skill positions like wide receivers, cornerbacks, linebackers, defensive ends, defensive tackles. I think if we miss on those type of players in this draft, it would come back and hunt us. It would. Why would I draft a Kenny Pickett over a Chris Olave if you got a chance? Why would I draft a Kenny Pickett over Darius Stingley if you can? Why would I do that? Why would I draft him over Jordan Davis? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, if we get a quarterback, cool. He'll be a Philadelphia Eagle, and I'm going to ride for that guy. But you're setting the franchise back. And I love Jalen Hurts now, but at the time, and I still think about it now when we got Jalen Hurts, I'm like, why would you do that? Why not give Carson Wentz more help and more weapons? Even though Carson Wentz is showing that he might be a flop. But if you would have built that team up and not really get a Jalen Hurts, that could have been cool. You're repeating history. Keep Jalen Hurts. If he fell this year, quarterbacks out of the next draft, I'm hearing this loaded. I'm hearing this loaded with quarterbacks. So I honestly think they should do it that way, but I'm not the GM. But what do you think and how do you feel, man? Do you think Jalen Hurts is the reason why free agents don't want to come to the Eagles? Second, is Kenny Pickett a future Eagle? But this is Al Kabir, the analyst. Ghost.